Tonight, some state lawmakers are calling on Governor Wes Moore to dismiss Department of Human Services Secretary Lopez after state leaders pressed DHS about recent issues inside the foster care system during a hearing last week.
I don't believe he's the right person for the job at this point, and so our caucus believes that.
Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost takes us through the latest calls for change in Governor Moore's cabinet, which continues to see shifts in personnel.
There have been a lot of changes when it comes to Governor Wes Moore's hand-picked leadership team. We've seen a change in chief of staff, press secretary, and other members of his communication staff. But when it comes to his cabinet secretaries, the turnover has been great. Roland Butler, the former state police superintendent. Laura Herrera Scott, the Department of Health secretary. Department of Transportation secretary Paul Wiedefeld. Veterans and Military Family Secretary Tony Woods, Helene Grady, the Budget Secretary, Commerce Secretary Kevin Anderson, and most recently, the Secretary of the Department of Service and Civic Innovation, Paul Montero. And then there's Vincent Schiraldi, arguably one of the most embattled secretaries of the governor's administration. He once led the Department of Juvenile Services, and now he, along with everyone else on this board, have either left or are planning to leave. And now, Lopez, the Secretary of the Department of Human Services, has been in the spotlight following a scathing Social Services Administration audit and then the death of a teen foster care child who was living in a Baltimore City hotel. Recently, there was a legislative hearing about all of those problems and concerns, but not everyone there is convinced they got the answers they were looking for.
Here's the thing. Somebody died. Somebody died under his watch, and the processes were under his purview, I guess is what you want to say. And you have to question why somebody, who's accountable for this, who's done something. I guess there may be something, admission of guilt or something like that, but we lost a life. And sadly, that's when we tend to react and act on something, is when we lose a life, and that's not the answer.
Now, House Republicans are calling on Governor Wes Moore to fire Secretary Lopez. In fact, Minority Leader Jason Buckles says, "We have little confidence that Secretary Lopez is the leadership solution to these serious and systemic problems." Now, Secretary Lopez recognizes that he serves at the pleasure of the governor. Here's actually what he said during this recent hearing.
But I'll tell you this, in so long as I serve as secretary, and on any given day, I can be fired. On any given day.
But so far, Governor Wes Moore appears to be standing by Secretary Lopez. Now, the governor has a track record of standing by his secretaries, even as I pressed him most recently about the concerns surrounding the timing of the changes we're seeing coming from the Department of Human Services.
Well, I'm grateful for the work that Secretary Lopez and the team over at DHS has done to address a lot of these challenges that were longstanding. I mean, as you indicated, Mackenzie, many of the challenges that we were talking about are things that predated not just our inauguration, but predated even our announcement to run for governor in the first place. And so we knew the challenges that existed within DHS. It was the reason that I was excited to have someone like Secretary Lopez, who could come in and actually address the hard problems, address the hard issues, and know that even though these were not problems that started under our watch, these were problems that would be addressed under our watch.
We saw a similar situation play out with Vincent Schiraldi at DJS. For months, Governor Wes Moore made it a point to stand by him even as the pressure for change continued to mount. And then one day, he was gone. Does he have your support right now?
He's still in the job right now.
How much longer are you willing to stand by the Secretary, Vincent Schiraldi, of that department? So how can you be confident that DJS is actually providing the level of services necessary?
Well, I can tell you that there has been a very real increase in the way you do accountability.
You know, when is the governor's office going to take action? So what do you say to them? I recently spoke with John Deedy, a political analyst in the area, about the situation we're seeing unfold right now with Secretary Lopez. Here's what he said.
I am confused why he has not cut the cord on this. I think it's a matter of stubbornness right now for the governor not really to get rid of Lopez because of the situations that are occurring in this office. And what you have to do is you have to figure out what the long-term benefit of keeping Lopez is. And right now, there's not long-term benefits going on here because you will see other problems creep up. There will be other mistakes made, and Lopez will get blamed. The best thing to do is move on, and until he has a handle on the replacement, I think he's got to wait on the firing.
Now, we did reach out to Governor Wes Moore's office asking, is Governor Moore exploring options to replace Secretary Lopez? Does he have confidence in Secretary Lopez right now to lead DHS given the concerns with the foster care system? The governor's office did not give us specific answers to these questions. Instead, they referred us back to his comments most recently when I asked him about the future of Secretary Lopez and the changes we're seeing coming from the department. Now, as we continue to investigate the foster care system, we want to hear from you directly. You can reach out to me if you have any information that you think we need to know. My contact information will be in this story on our website at foxbaltimore.com. At the Accountability Desk, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.